I am with you, but I do see the next gen coming up and deciding everything for themselves. I always like to look at Netflix, the popularity of festivals, by then thinking that people just go in, Netflix or a festival, and then they decide everything they want to do themselves. How is it then still possible to effectively try to transform things or even let them experience something instead of knowing, that's my opinion maybe, but they decided themselves. I once heard a podcast with Joe Pine explaining that people were on the beach looking at the sunset, but the next generation were on the telephone.
Right.
And they didn't even see the sunset.
Right.
Or
they saw it mediated through the screen. Right?
With a filter over it.
Right. So and for my family, where we were in Hawaii like a month ago, not quite a month ago, and I did film a beautiful sunset where you just see the sun all the way go and send it back to the kids and so forth. But I'm holding the camera, but I'm looking at the sunset. Right, I'm not looking at the screen, right, and so I'm having that experience, and then most of the time, throw away that. So people do miss today the real experience of experience things rather than it being mediated by the screen in front of them, and it relates, and eventually they'll figure that out, right?
But does it affect the evaluation of the development of it for going from experiences to transformation to?
Well, it allows you there's some new transformations that you can create, such as a digital detox, right? To get me away from that phone while I'm experiencing it. But in fact, there's a lot of transformation that can be delivered using the phone because they're particularly coaching, right? Coaching can be done that way. I'm thinking of there's a company called BetterUp that does management coaching. And they particularly do it when a company is undergoing a transformation itself, like digital transformation or changing and whatnot. And they want to affect all of their managers. So they allow them to get access to the BetterUp app, and then you give all these details, right? So they do a little diagnosis about what coaching particularly do you need and what sort of person you are. And then they have all this data analysis to be able to predict, well, these sorts of coaches would be best for you. And they offer you 3 coaches, so then you pick the final version, which one do you want, and then have that coaching over the phone, right? And even before the pandemic. So that sort of thing can work very well. There may be some level of coaching that you're going to want to be live. In one of the companies we highlight in the HBR article is Profile, which helps with weight loss, right? And of course, you have one coach, a person that you go to, where you can go to them physically or you can go to them digitally. You can even do things over the phone, and whichever way works out best for you and the coach and the time that you have and so forth. So digital technology can help with that. The other thing digital technology is great at is tracking, tracking stuff. I wear a Fitbit that tracks how many steps I make, and it's amazing how many steps I get when I talk, in speeches and on podcasts and stuff. And so it allows me to track how am I doing longitudinally and be able to see my heart rate, even does EKGs and things like that. So they can be effective adjunct to whatever transformation that you're undergoing.